It's always interesting starting off a day. You know, at some of these places, you get the truck drivers. There's a couple state troopers who are staying here tonight as well. So a lot of times at motels, you'll actually meet people who sometimes they're out west. I've met plenty of firefighters who are fighting forest fires, or people who are moving across the country to do this or with that to help with a natural disaster or something like that. So you bump into those people if you at these places. But today, nothing like that. I'm just in Fiona, South Carolina, headed out. It's going to be another great day. It's going to start to get a little warm, like 80 degrees, which I guess is a far cry from the 30 degrees in Vermont, but that should be fun. Here we're off. First we start off coming down to Florence. I like Florence. Florence is a great place. The problem with Florence, well, there's no real problem with Florence. The problem with Florence I have is that it's a NASCAR town. Being a NASCAR town, I'm not really interested in NASCAR. I don't go to the museums of old NASCAR racing, stock racing, anything like that. I was in the area where Richard Petty was born. I mean, I know he's a famous racer, and that's about it. Something. He's a famous racer. But this area of South Carolina is actually quite interesting. The fact that as you're kind of going across and you're headed down south, it kind of waffles back and forth from swamp, farmland, swamp, farmland. And you're going to see some of it here. Now I stopped here for a quick break just to kind of let people know that this is a swamp. You go along it, a lot of these trees are actually in water. They're actually having record rainfall, I guess, this year. So this is just all swamp area. The people who live out here have these really fancy houses with their really secluded back. I got to imagine these are wealthy people. There's plenty of churches. These are God-fearing people, and they shoot first, ask questions later kind of people. So when it says no trespassing, they mean it. Like you can see, those trees are actually in water. That's swamp. And it doesn't take too long. You're just riding, and all of a sudden, boom, back in swamp, and back in farmland. But you can see right here, it's a lot of people think almost all the farmland's out in Iowa, Nebraska, and all that stuff. Not actually true. It is out here in South Carolina, North Carolina, and the bugs were out, so I was fighting with them most of the day. There's nothing like getting a big bug on your windshield and all these guts on your visor, and all of a sudden your visor's kind of screwed up. Oh, it was terrible. It really sucked to have it in the visor. Oh, wow. I mean, it doesn't take too many bugs before all of a sudden, you have to figure out some way, you could stop and wash your visor. Of course, there are plenty of small towns which you need to kind of go through. Now you might be wondering why I stopped here in the fresh forests of South Carolina across from my house. There doesn't seem to be anything remarkable here, but it actually is because Hopefully you can see that. The bike just passed 50,000 miles, so that's a milestone. Most motorcycles will never get this far in their lifespan, and I've done it. I'm in South Carolina. Woo! Time to keep on moving. I do like seeing the swamps and kind of going through the swamps. They're a whole lot of fun because, well, you know, they're joyous because they're so different from what you normally do. We don't have swamps in New York much. We don't have swamps in a lot of areas of the world. So, and I also know as the further west I go, more it's going to be desert. So I only get to enjoy the swamps for a short period of time as I'm going through them right now. Now, one thing I'd like to say is I didn't really stop too much in the South Carolina swamps because I knew I was coming here. But if you don't know, we're so advanced, swamps are now tourist attractions. Because if you think about it, if you were an early explorer and you met a swamp, you'd probably be like, oh, crap, a swamp. Now, since you can get in and get out in a few minutes to a few hours, they can be tourist attractions. So here it is, right here. I'm on the street, and if you can see that, that's Augusta, and it's the home of the Augusta National Golf Course, where is the course where they play the Masters. Oh, here I am. Right over there is the Augusta National Golf Course, where they play the Masters. And there's no gate really you can take a picture at, so I'm at lot auxiliary 1. Closest I'm gonna get. Another location, I'm actually parking right across the street to one of the gates to get in. Members only. Yeah, it's about as close as you get. There's no convenient sign to take a picture at or anything like that. It's just, that's the way it is here. Across the street, the Masters Plaza, Wholesale Ministries, Christian Bookstore, a ministry, a healing center, administrative offices. Who knows, who cares? But they won't even let me in. The guards don't even let you like take a picture at the guard station. You need to keep it open in case someone comes. I mean, I was only gonna be like a minute, but hey, well, you know, they're doing their jobs. Now, of course, the Masters doesn't let you in because it's a private club and they don't really have a sign. They just have green gates everywhere and kind of people who tell you, no, you can't park here in case someone arrives. It's a members-only club. From what I understand, it's a couple tens of thousands of dollars to actually get in to pay your dues as a member. Not only that, in order to become a member, you have to be recommended by at least one member, maybe two. So it's difficult to get in. Very exclusive, and really the public only gets to see it once a year on TV. Probably the tickets are probably a couple $100 each for a day just to see the Masters. It's a little pricey and expensive, and I'll probably never see it. Look at this. Northern Georgia. If you don't know, Northern Georgia, the border with Northern Georgia and Southern Carolina is actually very mountainous. It's actually quite scenic. Just listen to that. And there's a couple people who get to live here. Man, what a great place to be. That's it. Getting out of Augusta, which was actually a really nice town. It seems to all revolve around the Masters. Probably just the town swells 3 or 4 times the size when the Masters are in town. But heading out, I'm going to get a little further along and headed towards, I'm going to stop a little before Atlanta at Athens.